Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In this video we have another election prediction, and it is going to be an election prediction for Donald Trump versus a challenger Democrat if the economy stays booming. If you look at the graph over here, we can see the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is the largest stock. You can see here it's boomed. If you look at it, it went to a low, like a 20-year low. In 2009, hit 7,200. Now it's all the way up to, it's peaking at, see, now it's just gone over 29,000. At the end of the Obama years, it was just under 20,000, and now it is at 29,000. And part of this could be attributed to Barack Obama, but also the economy has been doing well under Trump. Whether that's because of his tax cuts and deregulation or not is something else, but the economy is doing very well. If you look at this also, the unemployment rate has been going down. You see it peaked at about 10% in the end of 2009, and it's been declining ever since. When Obama left office, it was just above 4, and now it is down to about 3.5. I think that's what the new statistics were. I can also see median household income has been increasing as well. So a lot of factors in the economy have been doing very well. Inflation is also low, which means there's less of a sign for a recession. But that means that Donald Trump's chances of re-election might be greater. So we're going to do that if the economy stays booming, not if it stays growth, because if the growth slows, that could be a warning sign for Trump. But if it stays booming, say the same growth that it is now, the booming economy, or it could even speed up. So we'll start off by doing the safe states. I believe Nebraska second might even be safe in this situation. Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Indiana, South Carolina, Missouri. I believe Iowa could even be safe. His approval ratings aren't as bad here as in some other places. And the state went to him by 10 points, which is a safe margin in 2016, as well as the state of Utah. That puts Donald Trump at 132 safe electoral votes. I believe the Democrats would win. Not Oregon, I'll put that as a likely, but that's for later. Hawaii, Illinois, New York, Vermont, Maine's first, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, D.C. And that puts the Democrats at 176 safe electoral votes to Donald Trump's 132, a closer margin than what we normally see with these safe electoral votes. We'll just put in Oregon as a likely, and we'll start in the West this time just to mix it up a little bit. New Mexico would also be a likely state, in my opinion, even if there's a booming economy, which you could argue helps people in states like New Mexico and Oregon. People with larger incomes that may have gotten a larger tax cut and everything, as the tax cuts were the largest tax cut in the history of this country. If the economy stays booming, it will be a closer margin, but Donald Trump probably won't do any campaigning in these states anyway, and for that reason they will go by likely margins. The state of Colorado, I believe, would go by a lean margin. This has a big Senate election here that's going to probably go to the Democrats, and because of that reason, I believe it's also going to the Democrats in the presidential election. Regardless of this, it is a more blue state now than it used to be. Had a Republican senator, because of the 2014 wave year for the Republicans that gave them the state, but it did go to Obama both times. It did go to Hillary. I don't see any reason why it would go against a Democrat now, even if there was a booming economy. The state of Arizona, I believe, would still be by a tilt margin. It would have to be by a tilt margin just due to the trends and everything. His approval numbers are bad. The polls aren't great for him, even with this booming economy we have currently, and the trends will make this a closer state than what it has been before, so it'll go by a tilt margin. Either way, this in Nevada, I believe, would go tilt. You have a lot of people in Las Vegas suburbs, compared with Maricopa County. I believe the people in Nevada will vote more Republican in the Nevada suburbs, the suburbs of Las Vegas, than they will in the state of Arizona. They might vote more blue, but still not to get it over the top for the Democrats. But in this case, it wouldn't be over the top for the Republicans. So the Democrats would win this state by a tilt margin. And the state of Texas, I believe, would be a likely margin. It went to Donald Trump over Hillary by 9 points against the very unpopular Hillary, but also very unpopular Trump. It went to 9 points, and the trends are showing that the state is getting closer and everything. But if there's a booming economy, it could kind of halt those trends if you want to put it that way. The trends will make it as close to an election as it has been before as the 2018 Senate election was, and it would go by a likely margin. The state of Florida, I believe I'll put it at a lean margin. I have never even put Florida at a lean margin in any of my predictions, I don't think. And that is just because I believe that Florida is a swing state. It's always going to be a close state in these kinds of elections. And so I put it at a tilt margin for that reason. But if the economy, something that Florida voters will probably vote mainly based off of, if that is still booming, if people's retirement savings are going up, if there's low unemployment, if wages are going up, people in Florida with its 29 electoral votes will vote for a candidate like Donald Trump again. From the state of Georgia, I believe would go lean. I believe that the black vote would still turn out Democratic either way, and the suburban vote is shifting Democratic, whether there's a good economy or not. As we talked about with Arizona, it's getting closer either way. Texas not as much, but I believe Georgia would be similar to Arizona, where you're having the trend making it go blue, which will overcome the effect of the good economy, but still not enough to make it a blue state. It'll go by a lean margin. You see, North Carolina will go by a lean margin. I put it as a lean margin in most of my predictions. I believe also this would not change too much. Trump won it by 5. I believe that it would be a similar margin just due to the fact that there's a Senate election here with an unpopular senator and an unpopular incumbent president who might have a good economy but a bad character. People are voting based off of that, and that'll make it a lean margin towards Donald J. Trump, the incumbent president. The state of Virginia, I believe, will vote by a lean margin. I don't think Donald Trump will do any campaigning in the state. If he was not able to win against Hillary, why would he believe that he could win it now? Even with a good economy, the establishment Democrats here are just very strong and would probably come out to turn out for a Democratic candidate, regardless of who it is. Maybe by a closer margin if it's a candidate that's in the establishment like Bernie or Warren, but by a larger margin if it's someone like Biden or Pete. But either way, this state is going to go Democratic. We'll go to the state of New Hampshire. I actually believe the state of New Hampshire would be a flip. This state went within 1%. I think it was only winning a couple thousand votes that went to Hillary Clinton. Same thing with the Senate election, which was actually a flip towards the Democrats. One of the couple flips that they got in their 2016 Senate election. But beside the point, getting back to this, the state of New Hampshire would probably flip. You have a lot of white traditional voters here that may not like the results of the wave year you've had and the impeachment and everything. And because of that, the state of New Hampshire would go to Donald Trump. Maine second district, I believe, would go by a lean margin. Although this was a flip in 2018, I think that the flip would go back to as it was in the flip for Donald Trump himself in 2016. But Maine at large will still go by a likely margin, just to Maine's first district with Portland and everything being such a Democratic district. But now we'll talk about these states. The state of Minnesota, actually, these 5 states, maybe you can even argue 4, Minnesota not included, are always what it comes down to. And in this case, the state of Minnesota is going to go by a lean margin. You could call this the one that got away from Trump in 2016. But I don't believe not too much is going to change here, especially if you have a moderate candidate. They have Amy Klobuchar, the senator who's running for president, who's probably not going to be a nominee, but is more moderate that people will vote on. And you're going to see how much of an economic change is there going to be if they nominate someone like Bernie Sanders. Will they won't want to vote for Bernie Sanders when you have such a good economy under Donald Trump? I don't think so. So it all does depend on the nominee as we get to these Rust Belt states here, but I believe the state of Minnesota will still go by a lean margin. Wisconsin, I believe, would go lean. Michigan would go tilt. Ohio would go likely, and Pennsylvania will go tilt. We'll just get all of these out of the way right here. Michigan and Pennsylvania are the most blue states. Although Wisconsin did flip a governor's race blue, it was within 1% in a Democratic blue wave year. I believe that on the normal ticket, if the economy isn't doing as great, isn't growing faster and booming as much, it could still go to the Republicans. But in a situation where the economy is still booming, the states are going to go Republican. I just can't see any way around that. Even with Donald Trump's bad approval ratings in states like Ohio and Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania, he'd still be able to win them because the economy is doing so well. Many people do not approve of Donald Trump because of his character, but they might look at the economy and say, oh, the economy is going well, I'm out for Donald Trump. I'm not saying I agree with that statement, but that is the way a lot of people think. That's the way a lot of people vote. They voted for George Bush in 2004. There's a number of factors that vote, but one of the most important ones of them is going to be the economy. And when it comes down to them, in the states here, like the factories who may believe that, and the farmers and everything like that, they may believe they're being helped by these policies, the economic policies, the good economy under Donald Trump. Maybe if he's gotten a trade deal that could even help him. We might talk about that in a later video. You'll see. But in this situation, I believe that the economy is still booming, the growth speeds up, and it's still booming by the time of the 2020 presidential election. There's a good chance Donald Trump could win this election by a margin of 310 electoral votes to 228 electoral votes. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys later.